Hello guys, and welcome back to my Coin Lady channel. I'll make a brief reference to Ripple and its future obligations regarding carbon credits and climate change. Therefore, let's have a look. They have equipment on display at the World Economic Forum that can read your mind. Just picture for a moment a world where powerful entities can monitor your every thinking and dictate your every action. The World Economic Forum is daydreaming about future innovation that could make this dystopian vision a reality. Breitbart reported on Friday that an unnamed presenter at last month's World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, presented a world in which major corporations can eavesdrop on the mental activities of their employees. They may report in employees to the authorities if they didn't agree with their ideology or were fired if they did. You shouldn't assume any responsibility for following through on your thoughts simply because you've written them down. Many people, I bet, think to themselves on a daily basis, "Man, I simply can't wait to go home." In the future, your manager might walk into your office and say, "I see what you were just thinking. If you don't want to be here, you can leave now." There is no decent technology here. How many people do you think will suffer simply because they have thoughts? I discuss the World Economic Forum's war for your brain and the importance of mental transparency in my writing. This is the present moment, the future that has come. It makes use of proven technologies. Brain activity can now be decoded in ways that were previously considered impossible thanks to advancements in artificial intelligence. Decoding brainwave activity is a form of artificial intelligence that has received a lot of attention in recent years, but I want to talk about it from a different angle. Everything you experience, from thoughts to emotions to physical sensations, is just information that can be analyzed and interpreted by AI given enough data. Which means they have the necessary tools at their disposal. Minority Report, with Tom Cruise comes to mind, and I believe that many of the science fiction films we've seen over the years are, in fact, becoming more and more grounded in reality as a result of technological advancements. Also, you should know that all the things you thought would never occur actually are. The CDC has decided to start keeping tabs on those who refuse to get vaccinated against COVID. I just can't place a lot of people in the United States when it comes to their ideas. You'll eventually confide in a trusted friend or family member that you've been told you'll soon be subject to surveillance. What could happen in another country, they warn, if you didn't receive the VX? As the government here in the United States would never allow it, this scenario will never play out. In other words, the government that is supposed to be protecting you is actually the one who is plotting against you. The time has come for people to wake up. According to the most recent definition, 85.5% of U.S. citizens are now considered anti-vaxxers. I have personal experience with many folks who were the first to fire. Because of their anxiety, they had to go and get it. Too much emphasis was placed on it, and I just didn't feel it. I expressed my belief that something must be amiss with the product if they were pushing it so hard. However, many patients claim that they received their initial vaccination and booster, but that was the last time they visited the doctor for any sort of immunization. This is becoming an increasingly rare occurrence. Disinterest in the vaccine is growing. The World Economic Forum is pushing for digital passports and IDs just as fascism is making a comeback in the mainstream. The emphasis of clothes has always been on exerting power. Now, this is something that many people would accept because it isn't a part of themselves. But I get the impression that they want you to become accustomed to having this digital ID by wearing it on your clothing. They'll tell you later to really internalize the information. That's because it amounts to the same thing. The point is, we think it's important for you to really feel it. Okay, listen up. This over-promotion of digital IDs is harmful to your health. Just keep in mind that once we approve the digital ID, that will be it. Our personal dividing line must be here. Liberalism and transhumanism are both on the brink of collapse. This is also being promoted in film. Take Iron Man, Elysium, and In Time as examples. Lucy, the list goes on, and if you want an idea of what's on their mind or what they intend for you, all you have to do is watch the most recent science fiction film. Chances are good that it will come true. Megan was the most recent film I saw. Check out that film if you're interested in seeing something concerning AI. I won't say anything since I don't want to give anything away. However, you should check it out at the very least. The plan for COVID version 19. The foolproof 12-step program for establishing a totalitarian regime. Make an issue comparable to the spread of the COVID virus. Get a frightened reaction out of them. Many people, especially at the beginning, were worried about the possible spread of the COVID virus. Thereafter, facts arrived. To get it, everyone had to leave their homes. Eventually, however, we did begin to receive the genuine facts and data around them. Start using lockdowns. All of us have experienced the extremes of those situations. And I recall the news constantly highlighting the cases and showing more and more of them on a daily basis. And the public continued to be unnerved. They continued to ignore it. Face masks, contact tracing, health passports, 5G microwave networks, mandatory immunizations, and a cashless economy are all things that will soon be imposed. Furthermore, I believe that COVID is leading us ever closer to a cashless society. Implant nanochips into human beings. In all likelihood, they will do that too. To be honest, I just can't wrap my head around the current norm. It was a totalitarian regime. This entire scheme is the brainchild of a group of senile hypocrites who are thoroughly bad and gave up their souls eons ago. As you well know, they don't want me or you to interfere with any of their plans. The Young Global Leaders Initiative of the World Economic Forum, which Klaus Schwab boasts about, has infiltrated governments all around the world. That's interesting because every time I make a video on the World Economic Forum, viewers always assure me that it will never happen. There is no authority in the World Economic Forum. What use is authority if you control every world leader? Just look at the names on this list. You can observe how well Canada is doing presently. Look at the current state of the UK. Efforts to implement Agenda 2030 are proceeding. Obviously, this is the case. It's easy to piece together if you just read a few news stories. Everything we need is here and now, in front of our eyes. The official forecast of the World Economic Forum for 2023 predicts widespread use of blockchain technology. I've long predicted that 2023 would be a watershed year for the cryptocurrency industry as a whole and for XRP investors in particular. If Ripple prevails in its lawsuit against ECC, I expect widespread adoption to follow. As a result of this legislative clarification, I anticipate that the cryptocurrency market will finally take off. Carbon credits, homes, electricity, bonds from the government, foreign currency, and other real-world assets will all be tradable on the blockchain, as was discussed at a World Economic Forum discussion panel. Because the necessary technologies are now available, including the blockchain, I think we are seeing rapid progress. The question is often asked, why wasn't this agenda pushed throughout the 80s and 90s? They did, but they lacked the resources to actually implement their plans. We have the technology, and we're going to use it to enrich ourselves before anything bad happens. By the year 2030, when CBDCs are expected to be widely implemented, having a high income, digital identifiers, and social credit score will be essential. The architects of the Great Reset are interested in accessing many aspects of your blockchain biometric digital ID, including your vaccination history. For the over 1 billion individuals in the globe who now lack a digital ID, the World Economic Forum has an ambitious plan to provide everyone with one. You can make a more informed decision about interoperability, trust, and privacy when you have more options. So, this Seattle thing goes back to the year 2021. Since 2021, we have made tremendous progress. As far as technology goes, it seems like everything is happening at the speed of light. The World Economic Forum and the United Nations both support efforts to create a global demographic registry. In a proposal from 2021, they suggested an app that would allow users to connect with smart cities, healthcare and financial service providers, transport and shopping suppliers, and government agencies. In recent years, we've witnessed the beginnings of actualization of these concepts. We hear a lot about smart cities these days. Some businesses are also discussing providing healthcare related to a digital ID. Carbon markets benefit from blockchain and cryptocurrencies because they boost liquidity and scalability, which in turn leads to more equitable pricing and larger revenue shares for suppliers. This new information has just been released by Ripple themselves. When it comes to the race of our lives, the goal of the Paris Climate Accord to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is the starting gun. This requires removing carbon from the atmosphere in addition to lowering emissions and safeguarding the world's natural carbon sinks. This is why nearly 4,000 organizations, Ripple included, have committed to achieving net zero carbon emissions. As more sectors rally behind combating climate change, a slew of exciting new technologies are bringing success closer than ever before. I think this is why Ripple decided to join in. Money is the primary motivation. But carbon credits are what will drive up the cost of housing and transportation in the years to come. Because of this, it will be important in the future to save up for the purchase of carbon offsets or carbon credits in order to engage in the activities of your choosing. You need to have a target in sight, and that's why I constantly bringing it up. In order to receive instant notifications every time a new video is added to XRP News, don't forget to check the boxes to subscribe and get notified. We have more video detailing the past of XRP that you might find interesting. See you later, bye.